not wear a dress.
Oh, is that what it is?
And I said,
She's got suits and things like
yeah.
that.
So, I'm sure that's lovely. But it was just funny. I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. A bunch of paradigms.
Right, I mean, she is professional.
Oh, she's amazing, yeah. And yeah, we had to stick with the shop. Yeah, that was really cool. At the church.
And she did that at, she did it at drum camp, just teaching.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I don't know. It's her first time. Well, she came 2 weeks ago to the workshop, and then Sunday is her first day at the course. And she's, responsible for teaching some of the people, some of the scientists. So I'm in the business of vaccine. We're not.
Oh my God, Jenny.
Oh. She would be, it's
There's a lot of
where you can see their faces.
That is crazy.
I know.
It's hot. Is it hot?
Oh, it is. Now we should turn it off. Not down, but off. Want me to do it?
No, I want to ask Karen to.
Okay. Well,
Just because I'm not.
you know what? I'm gonna move it.
Oh, thank you.
Can we have it like, since that Hanukkah, that live?
Everybody's next, right?
Huh? What do they have to do?
They're just doing kids here. So that's our rule. If everyone is vaccinated, everyone is vaccinated. If there are people who are unvaccinated, if you're eligible to be vaccinated, you must be vaccinated.
You turn the heat off? Did you ask
Yeah,
Karen to?
she did, yeah.
Are you sure she didn't do that? Because
She opened windows, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, she opened windows too.
I know we already set a little higher each other. I'm happy to see you again. 2 weeks in a row. It's pretty good. Okay, I love her.
What's that?
Can I have a granddaughter one day? I love puppies.
Yes, you can.
Kevin and Shelby. I don't know. Where's Kevin? Debbie just asked where Kevin and Shelby have been.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, shall we?
Yep. Do the voice on the start of the stream.
See Judith?
Huh?
See Judith? I asked her what her name was. Oh, yes, here. Shabbat shalom. Wow, wow, wow. Let's raise up a hallelujah, please. Hallelujah.
Okay, try not to cry tonight. Whew. That's the way to come back together. Whew, raising it up. On page 120, we're going to light candles. We're in the Mishkan Tefillah. You can find them scattered throughout. Welcome to those folks who are on YouTube this evening. I'd like to invite Judith Baral, our immediate past president, volunteer, dedicated human being extraordinaire, to light candles for us. So she'll light and then we can sing together. Waiting. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thanks, Judith. And 128, Yedid Nefesh, we're in Kabbalat Shabbat, receiving Shabbat, just getting here. That's it. That's our only job, is to be present, is to arrive in this moment, to consciously, mindfully let go of anything you do not need to have for the next period of time when we are here in community together, and not think about anything that's coming up later or tomorrow or Sunday or Thanksgiving, right? This is our only, no, don't have to think about your menu. This is our only... I have a meditation teacher I really like who says, if your mind tiptoes away, just invite it to come back, right? So if you go to thinking about stuffing, come back to Shabbos. Here we are,
Now I'm
just
only
right
thinking about
here.
stuffing.
I know,
Now I'm
don't
just
think
thinking
about
about
stuffing. 128. Yedi nefesh At any moment in the service, if you don't feel like trying to work your way through the Hebrew or the transliteration, but you just want to sing, nigun, wordless melody, is deeply part of our cells in our tradition, right? There's a reason for wordless melody. It's so that your brain is not trying to function when you're just trying to sing and praise from your heart and your soul. So any moment that you feel like, I can't follow the Hebrew, you go, lai, right? That is ancient. That is millennia old. Just say whatever syllables come out of your mouth. Bottom of 131, Psalm 96. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo. The trees rejoice. Nature rejoices that it's Shabbat. Everything gets a rest on this day. Even the trees are happy about it. 4 lines up from the bottom on 131. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo. Ya'alo sadai. Ay, 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 ay. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo. Ya'alo sadai. Ay, 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 ay. Az yiranenu kol hatzeiah. Az yiranenu kol hatzeiah. Az yiranenu kol hatzeiah. Az yiranenu kol hatzeiah. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo. Ya'alo sadai. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo. Ya'alo sadai. Ay, 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 ay. Az yiranenu kol hatzeiah. Az yiranenu kol hatzeiah. Az yiranenu kol hatzeiah. Az yiranenu kol hatzeiah. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo. Ya'alo sadai. Ay, 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 ay. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo. Ya'alo sadai. Ay, 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 ay. You know, sometimes we do all the words. When we get to the Amidah, you want to do all the words, the scripted text. And sometimes you do what's called the Ikar, the essence. There's a community in Los Angeles called Ikar, essence. You just get down to the essence of what the psalmist said. On 132 at the bottom, part of Psalm 97, Or zarua la tzadik ul yishrei lev simcha. Light is cultivated, is sown, is grown for those who stand in their truth. Or zarua la tzadik. Or zarua la tzadik ul yishrei lev Okay, anybody else landing? Landing in the room. 136, Psalm 29. We always have to do this melody when we got Shira here on violin. Poppy had the good idea over there. Her feet were just going like this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we
Poppy.
just fly? If we
Yeah.
lift off enough, can we lift off into Shabbat? The Chadodi on page 138 is our official invitation to cross over. There's a reading in here somewhere. Shall we draw back? My brother, my sister, cross over. It's coming up, right? This is our invitation that we're walking over the bridge into Shabbat. Everything we've done so far has just been a prelude to Shabbos, right? It's just been an introduction because it takes a minute. It takes a minute for us to be able to land and get here. Chadodi, לקראת קהלה, בין שבת בואי חלה, בואי חלה לחלוני, לקראת קלה, ונשמה לקבלה. 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 You can have a seat. We're going to stand up in about 45 seconds, but you can have a seat if you'd like to. So before we move into Chatzi Kaddish, the Chatzi Kaddish, each time we have a Kaddish, it's meant as a marker, a divider of the service. So the Chatzi Kaddish comes before the Baruch Hu, and the Baruch Hu, you'll notice, is the first time that we actually say the words Baruch. No praise has been offered yet. Just psalms, just reciting text that's appropriate for this time, but we haven't offered the Baruch Atah Adonai words yet. And the Baruch Hu means, okay, actually we're here to pray. We're not just here to get loose and do the psalms, right? We've got a little serious business happening, and that happens in the form of the Baruch Hu. It reminds us why we're here. I want to read this as a kavanah, as an intention. I do not remember when during COVID blur I read this historically, but I think it speaks to the teaching that I'm going to offer about our Torah reading. And I think it speaks to where we all are at right now in life. It's called Wild Broken Heart, and I invite you to bring your wild broken hearts into this service tonight. My heart is free, cracked open by fire, pouring radiance and music into the night, lifting prayers to the heavens. This wild broken heart fears nothing, embracing stars and secrets. What more can be done to rubble and ash, to dust and whispers? My feet touch the hot core of the earth. My hands reach the cold edge of the universe. I am the hollow bone that brings medicine and light from the soul of eternity to this world, to this life. Take this wild, broken heart. Place it next to yours. The wildness of your dreams, the wildness of your laughter, the wildness of your joy and love, the truth that pulses through your veins, and we will shine magnificent visions into the darkness, summoning the battered, the bruised, the wounded, summoning hearts split and torn, calling out to the thirst for healing and the hunger to heal, calling out wild, broken hearts to the center, to the place within we all dwell. Our wild, broken hearts sing. Our wild, broken hearts bless. Our wild, broken hearts sparkle and shine. Together, our wild, broken hearts are whole. On 144. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועלמד יברך יראותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם עולם המיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל על שמי דקודשה לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמה rise for the Baruch Hu on 146. I want to invite you, even if you don't understand a single word you're saying tonight in Hebrew, I want you to embody the words that we're saying right now, and we bow. And I want you to imagine bowing just a little deeper tonight than you normally would. Just feel what it would feel like to surrender to the experience of bowing, to giving yourself over, regardless of text. Maybe normally your Baruch Hu looks like this. Maybe tonight your Baruch Hu looks like this. Maybe tonight it looks like this. Maybe you got a lot you got to let go of. Here's a chance. 146. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, oh, hey, oh. Please be seated. On 148, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. And on the bottom of 149, this is the reading I was referencing before. This poetic interpretation of the Yotzer Bracha, of the blessing for creation, asks us to consider, are you going to enter deeply into Shabbat? Are you going to cross over? Are you going to hold yourself back? My brothers, my sisters, are you going to go there? Will you allow yourself to be present? Or are you going to stay back over here? And think of this, keep this little post-it in your mind when we talk about Jacob later. This crossing over, this holding back. Let's read it together at the bottom of 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu know this text, just repeat after me. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that we are one, and we will know that all is one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shekemah Could you hear Debbie's heartbeat during the Shema? Page 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. 158. This is the music box Michamocha. We have so many, we have to name them. We named this music box, you've heard me say this before, because it's as if, you know, like an old-fashioned jewelry box. I guess it's not a music box.
It is. Where you go.
It's a music box. Jewelry box. When you pop it open and then the ballerina appears and then she goes like this. That's what this reminds me of. I don't know why. חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גיא I think the reason I love that melody and why I think of the music box is because of the magic that's inherent when you're a child and you open something like that and it's like every time, wow. And when a melody and a text are married in a beautiful way, that's what it's like. When this text that is all about every single ancient Israelite, every single one of the Hebrews crossing out of Egypt got to have this experience of God's presence when the sea parted in the Exodus story. That was a serious wow. We all got to have that. And that's when you know a musician, a composer has done it right. Right? When the music feels like it brings the text to life. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I think that's why that one really works, because it feels like, oh yeah, I feel the magic. 160 and 161. Hashkivenu, we pray, request a Sukkot Shalom, peace to be sheltering our whole world. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding Baruch atah Adonai, haporesh sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'al Yerushalayim. As a kavanah, an intention before we enter into our own silent prayer. Despite illness of body or mind, says writer Dana Falds, in spite of blinding despair or habitual belief, who you are is whole. Let nothing keep you separate from the truth. The soul, illumined from within, longs to be known for what it is. Undying, untouched by fire or the storms of life, there is a place inside where stillness and abiding peace reside. You can ride the breath and go there. Despite doubt or hopeless turns of mind, you are not broken. Spirit surrounds, embraces, fills you from the inside out. Release everything that isn't your true nature. What's left, the fullness, light and shadow, claim all that as your birthright. Please rise. We are going to do Adonai Svatai Tiftach out loud together, and then we're gonna get quiet. And quiet is what you want it to be. Text, no text, sitting, standing. It is your opportunity to enter into whatever quiet space you need this evening. My cup overflows. We're thinking this Shabbat for the Mishaberach of Susan Wisnadell, Iris Kaplan, Pam Kleeman, Robert Schwartz, Leslie McDonald, Stanley Franklin, Liba Cooperman, Sandy Foreman, Harvey Gilberg, Martin Zaretsky, Dan Tootin, Rachel Faye Wells, Irene and Martin Garfinkel, Leah Batrachel, Eileen Farley, Judy Griffith, Maria Elizabeth Rausch, Mateo David, Lev Heschel ben Batami, Herschel Tzvi, Prashnath Bemori, Samuel Phillips, Joan Schwartz, Mayor ben Shoshana, Ed Heckler, Irving Heckler, Marilyn Heckler, Anita Heckler, Harav Rivka bat Harav Eliezer Regila, Mordechai Yosef ben Gita Yaakova, Margaret Bell, Dave Cohen, Leander Prescott, and Ty Ellenwood. To that tremendous list of people who are in need of healing, are there other names that need to be folded into our offering this evening? Eilna, Rafanala, God, please heal all of the people named, those that have not been named, and bring them a rufuata nefesh and a rufuata guf, a healing of body and a healing of spirit. So we have lots of volunteers to thank this evening, but I just can't go without a little wee bit of Torah. I was talking to Irene tonight about the ways in which the experience of COVID oddly brought lots of people closer to their Judaism and closer to a steady practice because it was so readily available. And now that we get to be back in person, you get to experience that proximity actually with other people. And for me, I've always loved Torah study. It's one of my very favorite things to do. But boy, did I fall deeply in love with the Torah during COVID. It was my lifeline, and our Torah study group just grew and grew and got richer and more complicated and beautiful. So got to just teach a little teeny bit about where we are in the Torah right now. Oh my goodness, we're in Parshat Vayishlach, and I want you to imagine that you are preparing to have a conversation in your life that terrifies you. You are scared in your bones because you are going to have to reunite and speak to someone that you haven't spoken to in a long time, and you owe this person an enormous, life-altering apology. And you're feeling scared, and you're feeling alone, and you're feeling ill-equipped. And this person is a part of your family. So take those feelings, multiply them by 1,000, and you can imagine Jacob in our Torah portion this week, Vayishlach. He last saw his brother Esau when he stole his birthright, the blessing of the firstborn. He impersonated him, he pretended to be him, and in a heartbreaking episode in the Torah, he stole his blessing, and then he ran away. He ran for his life. And he was gone for 20 years. And they are about to be reunited, and they're going to see each other directly. And Jacob prepares. He has his whole family, all of his children. He has all of his cattle. He has all of the people that have come with him. And he prepares for this reunion that he's hoping is going to be peaceful by dividing up his family and leaving some over here across the water and some over there, keeping some safe, others safe. He's really preparing for battle. He's worried that he's going to actually go to war with his brother, but he's hoping for peace. So there are themes that come throughout this Torah portion. Crossing. There's all of this crossing back and forth, past and future, over the water. The word panim for face is repeated 7 times. Panim el panim, versions of the word face, of facing your truth, facing someone else, facing each other, facing God, get repeated over and over again. So the Torah is asking us, who or what is Jacob preparing to face? We know it's literally Esau, but on a deeper level, what is he coming face to face with? So the Torah says, Vayivater Yaakov levado, and Jacob found himself alone. First part of the sentence, he is alone. It's the middle of the night. Everybody's in their places. Second part of the sentence, Vayevik ish imo, and there was a man with him. He was alone, and there was a man with him. Where did the man come from? If he's alone, who's the man? Doesn't make any sense. So our commentators say it was an angel who came to wrestle with him. Other commentators say it was the archangel of Esau who came to wrestle with him before seeing Esau. And one of the most common interpretations is, of course, he is alone, and the man that he faces is himself, right? He is totally alone, and then he finds this man, and he is wrestling all night long with who he is supposed to be, who he was. He was the man who ran away from the things he did wrong. He ran away from Lavan. He ran away from Esau. He ran away from his deceit. And now he is coming face to face with himself in the middle of the night, and he wrestles with himself all night long, not letting go. Jacob, whose name comes from the word ekev, from the heel, he held on, right, to Esau's heel inside their mother. And his name means holding on, tenacity, the one who will not let go. And for the first time, the very first time, he is facing himself, panim el panim, his own self, and he doesn't let go of his own wrestle with his own soul all night long. But of course, what happens? We all know the story. He gets injured, right? So they're wrestling all night long, that he will not let go. And the angel's like, let go of me. And he says, I'm not going to let go of you until you bless me. And he gets injured. The angel, the person, himself, whoever it is, injures him so badly that he has a limp in his hip. He injures him so hard that he actually cannot run anymore because he gets so severely injured in the middle of the night in his own wrestling match. So 2 things happen. He has this incredible injury, and he insists, despite the injury, or maybe because of the injury, that he won't let go of himself or this angel until he is blessed. Despite within, encompassing this injury. And he's given a new name, Yisrael, the one who wrestles with God, the one who wrestles with himself. He gets his new name. But interestingly, Abraham and Sarah, when they get their new names earlier in the Torah, they're Avram and Sarai, they get their new names and they stick. Abraham and Sarah become who they are for their whole lives. When Jacob gets a new name, he becomes Yisrael, but then he flip-flops constantly the rest of his life. His name does not stay consistently Jacob because he cannot let go of who he was, right? He is still Jacob, and he's Yisrael. He's the one who is deceptive, and he's the one who's trying his best to turn himself around and to step onto a new path. And he understands that his wholeness is not going to come from abandoning and thinking that he can turn his back on who he was and becoming one thing. It's not going to come from running away and trying to start fresh. His wholeness is going to come from the blessing of the complexity of who he is and incorporating Jacob and Israel into who he is as a person. And so the Torah keeps showing us that he goes back and forth. And then an amazing thing happens. The Torah says later, after their encounter, it says, Vayavo Yaakov Shalem Ir Shechem. He arrives Shalem, whole, to the city of Shechem, after he's been injured, after he and Esau have this reunion. He limps to the city of Shechem, and the Torah says, finally, he's whole. He is broken, and he's finally whole. And so the question that the Torah, begs of us is, how can you be whole when you just were injured? Is it possible to find wholeness, to find shlemut in our darkest injury, in the places in which we are the most broken? And the Torah is saying, oh yes, in fact. Your brokenness is what contributes to making you a whole human. Because none of us, perfection is not what makes you whole. Running from who you were and wanting to try to be someone else is not what makes you whole. But integrating your whole self is what makes you whole. So I've been meditating for the first time in my life. My spiritual teacher says that meditation actually will save your life. That is how much she believes in it. And my experience of meditation it's been short-lived but very powerful. That, of course, it's not about getting to a place when you are free of your thoughts, getting to a place when you won meditation, right? That's not how it works, right? It's incorporating all of your complexity and being present and holding space for who you are as a complex being. And I've been reading this meditation teacher, Stephen Levine, all these beautiful quotes. And he writes, which feels like it's so relevant to Yaakov, the process of growth is, it seems, the art of falling down. Growth is measured by the gentleness and awareness with which we once again pick ourselves up, the lightness with which we dust ourselves off, the openness with which we continue and take the next unknown step, beyond our edge, beyond our holding, into the remarkable mystery of being. Letting go of our suffering is the hardest work we will ever do. It is also the most fruitful. To heal, to be whole, to be shalem, means to meet ourselves in a new way, in the newness of each moment where all is possible and nothing is limited to the old. Where the old and the new, where Yisrael and Yaakov, with who you were and who you want to be, are integrated into one whole being with your broken hip and your desire to run, and in fact you can only walk. That's when you become whole. So my blessing for us this evening from this parsha is all about the mixing. Not to try to condense ourselves into one thing, one ideal, one vision of who we're supposed to be, but fear and awe, injury and wholeness, past and future, crossing back and forth, those pieces are what actually make us whole humans and are going to be what our survival depends upon. I'm going to close with a poem by Rabbi Karen Kadar. inside the human heart is fear. There is also hope. The two wrestle constantly, like Jacob and his God. Sometimes one prevails, sometimes the other. The struggle is sometimes silent, other times loud. But it is constant. Fear, hope, fear, hope. Flashes of light and shadow twirling inside us all the time. It is so much easier when there is love. When love is in your life, it becomes the context for it all. Love is the measure of a life well lived. It is the beacon of possibility. When you love, the fear is less harsh, hope a bit stronger. Lean on love, not on perfection, not on a vision of wholeness that requires us to all be whole and perfect, but in our brokenness and all of our complicated pieces, that's where we will find our shlemut, our peace, our wholeness. Shabbat shalom. So Karen is going to come up and say some things about all of our marvelous volunteers in this community who are the lifeblood of how we can do all the amazing things we do.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is such a great honor to stand here and thank you guys who really make this place what it is. Rabbi and I work here day in and day out, but without you guys, this place wouldn't be what it is. So I just want to take a moment, and I'm going to call a committee. And if you sit on this committee or this volunteer troop, stand up and stay standing, and I want all of us to just look around the room. So if you're on the board, please stand up. And if you're in the membership committee, please stand up. I don't know if there's anybody from Chesed here, but if there is, please stand up. If you're from the education committee, please stand up. And ritual. I know some of you have to sit down and stand back up. Jeff, that's you. If you're in the house committee, stand up. If you're in social action, please stand up. If you're in finance, please stand up. Israel and World Jury. Thank you, Julia, and thank you, Liz. If you are in the CRT, COVID response team, yes, there you go. If you are in fundraising, please stand up. Human Resources Committee, she was here. Okay. And she's here also. Judith is part of it. Sisterhood. Keshet. And if you came, there you go. Thank you, Ricky. If you by any chance called me one day and said, please make me volunteer, give me anything, please stand up. And I just want to take a moment to see how many people in this room are standing up. And I will venture a guess that those of us who didn't stand up because we're not on a regular committee still do a ton for this temple. So I just want to take a moment and recognize all of you. Thank you. I was thinking about this, what it means to recognize you guys. And the spirit and culture of gratitude that we have in this temple that David, our most extraordinary volunteer who calls me 100 times a day. Just kidding, it's the other way around. brought out of us during the high holidays. It's that spirit that each one of us gives all that we can in the very unique ways. If we know finance, we sit on the finance committee. And if we know how to cook and organize an oneg, we come and organize an oneg. If we know how to fundraise, we make it a special gala. In all of these different ways, we come here and give all that we can. And then in return, each one of us gets what we need. It's kind of like the concept of a kibbutz, if I have to bring it in from Israel, where we all come. I didn't live on a kibbutz, but where they all come, and one works with the cows and one works in the management, but they each get what they need. And it's a beautiful concept. And when you walk into this place, and I walked into this place many, many years ago as a visitor, and was greeted by these amazing two volunteers, Sharon and Dan, who I walked in and I felt like home. And this is what this community does because of our amazing, amazing volunteers. So we have many volunteers that really each one of you deserves for me to speak about you individually. And I want to call out two volunteers that are winning the Volunteer of the Year award. Neither one of them are here, but they show up all the time. They do really, really, in all honesty, show up all the time, but neither one of them could be here. Each one of them, I do want to say, has really valid reasons. This is not a joke, don't laugh. Okay, we're gonna start with a volunteer that I've known for a very, very long time before I came to this temple, and then I met him again on the education committee, and then he stepped up to the board, and at first he was just taking it all in, and then he sits in board meetings, takes it all in, and when he speaks, to Jenny's words, Rabbi's words, he's the voice of reason. He took it all in, and he's super balanced. And he for his day job, other than volunteering at the temple and showing up to get his award, he is an ear, nose, and throat doctor. And he's the chief of his department. And during COVID, I can't even tell you, he was inundated. But he still made time for our COVID committee. And our COVID committee met for hours, lots, so we can all be safe. And he made it to everything, and he made it to every board meeting, and he's present all the time and invites every new family in the religious school. I call his family, and they invite this family to their home. And just recently, he stepped up in a different way to be on our governance committee. And this amazing person is Joel Gass. And Joel, I hope you're on YouTube, because you're about to get a really nice and he's very, very well deserving. And if you see Joel, please congratulate him. So this is for Joel. I'm going to put him here. He's a star. And the other star that I want to recognize is Andrea. Also came from the Andrea Slavit. Also came from the religious school committee, where she served for years and years and years, and then became the chair of the religious school, and stepped onto the board and represented the religious school. And I just want to say that representing the religious school is a big deal, because the religious school is 1/3 of our membership. And it's not just representing what the parents want. It's representing what the parents want, the teachers want, and most importantly, how the children will connect to Judaism. It's a big deal. And she did it incredibly well by listening to everybody, by being such an amazing partner to me. So much so that when we both graduated from the religious school, I said to her, please be the membership chair. And she said, yes, I will. And she is a phenomenal membership chair. She took over from Jeff. Jeff moved to house. And she is just an incredible person. It came time to do the high holidays, and we were like, which side is up? Or are we indoors, outdoors, Zoom, virtual? We didn't know. I called Andrea and said, will you please sit on the high holiday committee? Of course, it's always a yes with Andrea. She sat on the high holiday committee, and we decided that it would be nice again to give everybody a little high holiday bag. Andrea said, and I know two of you here were on the committee with me, Andrea said, okay, I'm gonna take care of it. And she did. She went and she got us the challahs, and she got the apples and honey, and she assembled all of it and made the directory so all of us can call each other and build community. And she's just an incredible human that loves this community, in every way that she can give back, she does. So Andrea, if you're listening, this is for you. Thank you so much for all that you do. And I just want to say, recently, I've been told that nobody can say no to me. Recently, I had this experience with Jeff, Jeff, please come up. After months and months of working on the security grant, and living here pretty much, coming here at all hours of the day, I said, Jeff, how do you feel about the House Committee? No, stand here. How do you feel about the House Committee? And he said, is it a big commitment? I said, of course not. And he stepped up, and of course it's not a big commitment at all. Thank you, Jeff. Here is your hard hat. Now you're official. Thank you so much. So with this, I just want to say thank you to all of you in the room who do so much. And have a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Karen. We actually have an oneg tonight. It's very exciting. First oneg in whatever, year and a half. So, Aleinu is on page 586. If there are any children in the room who would like to come and open the ark, you are invited to do so. Please rise. Yeah, come on, Luna, come on. Thank you.
Pick a door, any door.
Aleinu neshabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'atit gedula li'oser bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, ve'koralenu keko ha'olam, va'anachnu kol Please be seated. We're in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days for Alvin Trepper and Neil Gleeman. And it's the Yartzeit this Shabbat of Harold Angelson, David Bean, Bernice Bernstein, Ann Christian, Jack Israel, Stephen Jacoby, Hershey Jaffe, Helen Korn, Trevor Leopold, Annie Levine, Linda Martin, Valerio Negoescu, Sidney Rappaport, Carl Reisman, Herman Roth, Lee Schwartz, Sidney Schwartz, Paul Shapiro, and Cindy Solomon. Are there other names for Kaddish this evening?
Marilyn Gold.
If you are, Richard Kaplan. If you are in mourning or observing your art site, I invite you to rise, or if it is your own personal custom to do so, feel free. 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach li'alam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. Please be seated. David Ratner, our president, has announcements this evening.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us. I am David Ratner, your board representative. Isn't this special? It's been a year and a half, a year and 9 months. Holy cow. Good to be back. Maybe next time, no masks. COVID committee's meeting on December 9th. We'll see what they come up with. So, Sisterhood Gift Shop is having a Black Friday sale. Get all your Hanukkah needs on Black Friday. And Raina is here. I'm sure she'll be willing to negotiate prices. Right, Raina? We have another Shir Joy Hanukkah service on December 3rd, and so far we are all signed up and have reached capacity. 150 members have signed up. Maybe the COVID committee could expand that a little. Not that I'm lobbying for anything. We are resuming or starting again the adult B'nai Mitzvah cohort in January, and there will be more information in the December Tikva talk along with my president's post. Not that I'm lobbying that you should read my president's post, but okay. December 6th, Warrior Heritage Night. Sign up in the Monday email. I think that it's Jewish Heritage Night at the Chase Center, something like that. And there are 2 tiers of tickets, the upper deck and the lower deck, different prices. And everyone, please read the Monday emails, and you will see the richness and diversity of programming and services and everything that's going on, thanks to our executive director, our rabbi, and our volunteers. Shabbat Shalom.
Oseh Shalom. We'll sing, we'll walk across the hall, we'll make some blessings. Please rise, everybody.